Hey, it's Mr. Johns. Welcome to this episode of Sketchup for 3D Design. We are going to take a previously designed cabin and import it into SketchUp so we can turn it from 2D into 3D. So the goal for this particular video is to import the floor plan and scale it to the right size. So those steps are critical to making this thing work. So when you go to SketchUp Online, make sure you sign in with your Google account, your Gmail address, and you will just click New, Create New. So you'll end up with a screen that looks like this, and this is SketchUp. Now at this point in Tech 9, I expect that you have some experience with SketchUp, but if you are a new student, you might want to spend some time just playing around with this screen and with what you can do in this screen. But I believe this tutorial will be enough to kind of walk you through the basics. And so what we're looking at here is 3D space, which has the illusion of grass and the illusion of sky, and a man standing here at the junction of these lines. All this is an illusion because 3D space is space. There is no really size. There's no end. It's infinity, I guess. It's infinite. That's the word. So this guy standing here gives us a reference to size. So he's probably the average size for an adult male. So probably 5'8", 5'9", something like that. And that just kind of helps us that when we design something, it doesn't end up being massive, and he ends up being a little tiny. So couple things first. Speaking of me kind of zooming in, zooming out. So the mouse wheel is your zoom. If you press down on the mouse wheel, it's rotate. I like to also go over here to the bottom tool. This left toolbar is your main tool line here. And all the tools on the right side are other options, things that you'll use on occasion. The very bottom tool, if you click it and then go to pan, the second one, it's a finger kind of sliding side to side. This will let you move the screen around. It doesn't move your object, it just moves the screen. So the combination of that and rotating and zooming in and zooming out, you can really kind of see and get to where you need to get to. All right. Now solid blue is up, dotted blue is down, solid green is north, dotted green is south, solid red is east, dotted red is west. So that also kind of gives you a compass reference. Where all those lines come together is a point called the origin. So enough with that. Let's go ahead and insert our photo that you took of your floor plan. We want to click on the three lines in the upper left part of the screen, and we want to go to Import. Now please don't go to Open, because what it'll do is go look for a SketchUp file. You'll find nothing. So if you go to Import, we want to import from My Device, which is your Chromebook. We want to then tell it again, yes, My Device. And it's going to probably default to the Downloads folder in Windows. And so we're going to choose that, or on a Chromebook, wherever that is, and find your photo and open it. It's going to ask you, hey, do you want to import it as an image or material, or do you want to upgrade? Well, no, we don't want to upgrade. We want to use the free version of SketchUp Online. And no, we don't want this to be material like carpet. We want it to be an image, a picture. So just click on Image. Now here, it's going to follow your mouse around until you click. So the best thing to do here is click on the origin. It'll turn into a little dot that says, hey, we're going to snap right here to that spot. Click once to place it. Now you're not done, because then it's going to say allow you to choose the size. Now we left that man standing there so that he could kind of give me a reference. Oh, okay, there we go. To size. I don't want to be this big, and I don't want to be massively huge. So I'm going to go somewhere in between. What I'm really looking at is like a window, and a window is going to be a little wider than the guy. So I just have to be close-ish at this point, and then I click. All right, so now my floor plan is in SketchUp, and I have that guy there. I'll go ahead and leave him there. No reason not to. At this point. So what is hugely important is that you have the dimensions of two of your walls if it's a square or a rectangle. Well, if it's a square, you would only need one side measurement, but most of you will have at least two different sizes of walls. So I've got a 24 foot by 16 foot, fairly small cabin. Now, in fact, this one is 385 square feet. It's really small, but I chose this as an example because it just won't take very much time to demonstrate things. So we want to draw a line, a wall. So over here in the toolbar, you'll notice that the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth button down looks like a square. It's actually a rectangle. If you click it, you have some other options, which include rectangle, rotated rectangle. You've got a circle, a polygon, and 3D text. So we're going to use the rectangle a lot for this project. So I want to do what's called precision measurement. And if I don't do this, I literally am just trying to make my rectangle fit the plan, which is possible, but difficult. And we don't know if that wall on the floor plan is actually 24 feet. It's probably not. We just placed it to kind of be sort of relevant to the size of that man. So if I click once and then drag out, it doesn't matter where I drag out, but don't click again. Click once to place or start the rectangle on a corner wall, drag your mouse and literally let go of the mouse, then just type. And I want my wall to be 6 inches wide, so I'm going to type 6 quote comma, and we know it needs to be 24 feet long, so 24 apostrophe enter. And now why did that not work? So let's no come back. There we go. Let me try it again. I'm going to click on the corner. I must have clicked twice without realizing it. So I'm going to go ahead and type it again. The reason I'm typing 6 inches is because I want my walls to be 6 inches thick. 6 inches, I think I typed wrong, comma, 24 feet. Enter. Okay. Now what I notice here is that my wall went the wrong way. All I have to do is Control Z to undo. Do it again. Click, drag. Whoa. Okay, not like that. Oh, come on. Control Y is undo, by the way. So I want it to, I'm going to click off of it and on it again, just to get it to be click, drag, let go. Now this time, instead of the width first, I'm going to type in 24 feet, which is apostrophe, and I'm going to do comma and 6 inches. Now what this does is it says, hey, this side is going to be 24 feet long, and then comma, the other side is going to be 6 inches wide. The comma is what tells it to switch sides. Hit enter. Now, excellent. So what I notice right away is that my floor plan is too big. So, but I know that that wall is 6 inches wide by 24 feet long. So I'm going to go to the tool that looks like 4 red arrows. It's the move tool. I'm going to click it once, and I'm going to choose the bottom option, and it's called scale. And then I'm going to click on the floor plan, and then I'm going to grab a green corner dot and drag it down. So I'm going to have to drag it until I think it's pretty close to 24 feet. And then I'm going to go back to that tool and go back to the move option, and I'm going to move my floor plan up. And maybe I'll zoom in a little bit so I can see just a little bit better. And I'm close, but I'm still just a little bit big. So I can't do it now. I've got to go back to scale. It's got to be the green dots. And I have to drag it down until it's 24 feet. Now, and no, I don't think you can do a precision measurement when you drag and scale something. I could be totally wrong. But I have not tried that. So again, back to scale and then move. Simply going to move that right up as much as possible. Now here I'm getting a little bit close to the top of the screen, so I'm going to go back to the pan tool, and I'm going to pan and pull this down until it's in the middle of the screen. And then I'm going to go back to the move tool, I'm going to zoom in as much as I can. I'm going to move my drawing, and it looks pretty close. Remember, rotate is hold down the mouse button. I'm a little bit short. I mean, it's really close. Am I being picky? Yes. So let's go ahead and go back to move and scale. I want my drawing to be just a little bit smaller, like just a, and it's kind of snapping to a lot smaller, but let's go back to move and just see how it looks. Okay, so that's, the angle is bad. So let's see if I can move it as close as possible. In this case, I'm almost too small. And so one thing that I want to check, and here's a tip, go over to the information button, the I button on the right side, and we want to change the precision to be, hey, snap to the closest inch, and also, well, go to the nearest inch, but take off length snapping. And that will let you pretty much shrink it to any size. It's not going to snap. So let's go ahead and go to resize again. Let me see if I can scale this up. And it shouldn't like snap as much as it was. I don't know. It still kind of is. See that jumping? Boom, boom. It's let me look at my options again here. The precision probably should be as small as possible. So don't snap to the closest inch. Go to the closest 1/64th, perhaps. So let me see if that helps. So again, we're still under scale, so I'm going to just see if that still snaps. It still seems to snap, and that's probably something I'm not going to be able to get rid of. I really want my plan to be as close as possible to exactly underneath of it, and I'm not able to. Now I know that my wall is 24 feet. How do I know that? Let me show you this tool here. It looks like a measuring tape, but instead of using that, which is temporary, click on the dimension line tool right here, and then click on one corner and go to the other corner, click and drag out. And sure enough, you'll see that my wall is, and by the way, this is good practice to always measure your walls. So just to make sure, don't trust SketchUp, even though it's a great program. Don't trust it. You always want to verify that, okay, this is a 6-inch wide by 24 long wall. Now it's not matching my drawing exactly, but I think it's, and I don't want to shrink the wall because I really do want this to be the actual size. So at this point, I just don't know if I can scale that down. I'm going to try maybe one more time. Choose the scale tool and see if I can drag. It just seems to snap, either too small or too big. And I thought I turned snapping off right here, and so it really shouldn't be doing that. So my format here is to the nearest 1/2 inch, and I mean, it's showing that my wall is 24 feet long, but my drawing is what is off. And so what I'm changing here, by the way, isn't really the drawing. It's really just, the only thing I've drawn on this screen is that rectangle. So I can't change, I don't think I can get that to be exact. So I think you would agree that this is probably better to just go that close, and we'll go from there. All right, let me show you one other quick trick here. Well, maybe not just one more, but we're going to use the push-pull tool, which looks like a flat box with a red arrow, and this is what makes everything 3D. So if you roll your mouse over it and it turns into blue dots, that means it is selected. And I could click and drag up and try to be 8 feet tall, or I could even measure it and then pull it up more until it's exactly try to get it exactly 8 feet tall. Or I could use precision measurement, which we just did on the rectangle. And now we're going to click, pull up, let go, and type in 8 feet. Now, if you want your walls to be taller than 8 feet, that's fine. 8 feet is kind of standard, but if you want some vaulted ceilings, you could definitely do 10 feet or 12 feet. That's pretty tall. So 8 feet I think is reasonable and kind of the standard. So I'm going to just double check with dimension lines just to make sure that it did go up 8 feet, which it did. So that is the basics of how to insert a floor plan as an image and then draw a wall on top of it. Make sure the wall is the actual measurement and then resize or scale your drawing to fit as closely as possible. I mean, that's within, you want to know how close I am? I can find this out. This is not something that is difficult. I can draw a line straight up and then I can go measure the distance between there and the corner. I am almost 2 inches. You know, it's 2 inches. It's 2 inches off, almost 2 inches off. Yes, I could push that wall in, and I'm tempted to. I really am tempted to. But I think it's more important that my house actually meets my drawing, the size, not necessarily the drawing, but the size is what we're going for here. So, all right. So that is a three-dimensional wall. To the right size on a floor plan that we inserted. And we're going to take this one step at a time until we have a gorgeous 3D version of your designed cabin. I'll catch you in the next tutorial, but for now, Mr. Johns is out.